If you were to ask most people to list insects, I suspect ants would be way near the top of the first thing that come to their mind. Not because, oh man, I love ants, and none of them are this big, or I certainly wouldn't think very many people would love having them around. But in general, the first thing we want to do with ants is get rid of them. But honestly, it's a hopeless task. Because for every human being on Earth, and there's about 7 billion of us, there are 1 billion ants estimated to be on the Earth. And for everyone you kill, there's going to be more of them that come back. So try to get rid of them, but they're going to come back. Now, why do ants matter? Because they provide food for all the other animals here. They actually also irrigate the soil with their nests underneath the ground. But they are an amazing creature. They are incredibly strong. An ant can lift up to 50 times its weight. That would be like a human being, if they weighed 200 pounds, lifting a 100,000 pound boxcar above its head. Now, Mr. Incredible, the cartoon, can do that, but obviously a human being can't come even close. That's the strength of this creature. Even more impressive is that this creature shows selflessness like no other creature. It lives in a nest, an ant's nest, with thousands of other ants, but some of them go out as workers to find food. But it's not like, oh man, this looks really good, I'm going to eat some of it on the way back. They do eat it, but then they share it. And there's not like some really fat, obese ants, and then there's some really skinny ants that didn't get as much. Everything in the nest ends up with the same amount of food that it needs. Why? Because of the instincts God built into these ants. This wasn't really known for many, many years, but a few years back, a researcher put some radioactive tracking in a source of food and then waited to see how long would it take for that food source to be shared throughout the nest. And within days, when they went and tested the baby ants, the adult ants, the worker ants, the warrior ants, all the different kind of ants, whether they collected the food or not, there was an equal amount of that radioactive tracker in all of the ants in the entire hive. Total equitable sharing throughout the hive. Now, that is an astounding thing, and it reflects the very nature of God who made ants. You see, in the book of Romans, it says every human being is without excuse for belief in God because of what He's made. And by studying creation, we can see the very nature and the power of God, because God made these creatures, and they reflect the nature of God Himself, who shares with us and calls us to share with the most unfortunate around us. And there's a verse in the Bible that refers to that in the book of Proverbs. It says, "Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer, no ruler, yet it stores its provisions in the summer and gathers food as it harvests. And then it shares it, not in a self-serving way, but for the benefit of all those around it throughout its entire life, because it's been created to do that by the one who made it."